The first 3 levels will go into the Paladin, and more specifically, the Oath of Devotion subclass. This is the recommended stat distribution, which I'll leave on the right side of the screen for a bit while we continue. For proficiencies, grab Religion and Intimidation. These are flexible, but those are the 2 I'd recommend. Grab the Fighting Style Defense, and Dueling is an option with this build, and situationally better depending on which weapon you're using. You can load your spellbook up however you like. At this point, they're all smite charges for this build. It's time for our first unconventional, yet extremely potent twist in the Mockadin, converting this classic into a crowd control powerhouse. We're going to work towards Bard 5. Pick up Blade Ward, and yes, you heard correctly, Blade Ward. With that, Minor Illusion, and both of these will see frequent use. Grab Longstrider, Featherfall, and Healing Ward. The last slot's flexible. Suggest putting your proficiency in Acrobatics here as well. Grab another spell, and keep moving. Make sure to grab Hold Person, and we're going to go with the College of Lore subclass. Recommended proficiencies are Sleight of Hand, Stealth, and Deception, with expertise in Acrobatics and Persuasion. All of this really helps round the character out, adding tons of utility. Pick Vicious Mockery and Cloud of Daggers next. For your feat, select Ability Improvement to boost your Charisma by 2, if you plan to use Hair the Hag on this character. If not, you may as well take Actor, which will give you an even Charisma and some extra proficiency. Glyph of Warding, and another twist. We'll be primarily using the sleep version of this, which makes our race selection important. We want to be Drow, Elf, or Half-Elf, so that we have immunity and can even cast it on top of ourselves when our situation arises. Now we dip into Rogue for the subclass Thief, which means 3 levels. Grab Sleight of Hand, Stealth, and whatever your preferred third proficiency is. You'll gain Cunning Actions, which are great, and Thief brings an extra bonus action. The last level will go into Paladin, at which point we'll get some additional spell slots for smites, and we can pick up another feat. We'll take Savage Attacker here. With the build knocked out in under 2 minutes, let's take a look at some gameplay. You can of course still demolish foes with Divine Smite, taking advantage of spells like Hold Person, which also benefit other members of your party. However, this variant really excels from getting into the mix of things and being a frontline for the remainder of your party. Position yourself to funnel enemies towards you, letting Cloud of Daggers do work, or potentially just sleeping everything around you, which then lets your party start picking off key targets without fear of getting knocked out themselves. This build is also more than capable of dealing damage from ranged, if safety is a concern. But remember the Blade Ward we mentioned? Well, this is actually very valuable in this build because we want the enemies to come to us. That's right, we want them to come to us. That way we can get massive benefit from Glyph of Warding Sleep. Keep in mind, you can pre-buff with Blade Ward or even Sacred Weapon. This is the part that really got me excited when the Rob version shared this build to me, and much appreciated because it's been an absolute blast trying this build out. Cutting Words, which can be used as a reaction, adds some incredibly humorous dialogue lines to the game as well. The playthrough is worth it just to hear them. Don't forget, if you follow the proficiencies from the guide, you're capable of Stealth, Lockpicking, and Theft. With your extra bonus action, Simple Toxins have added viability, plus there's always Sneak Attack, whenever you have advantage, which should be fairly often with this build. Minor Illusion is also handy for getting enemies to clump up before initiating combat. This will increase the effectiveness of your AoE, whether it's crowd control or damage based. It wouldn't be doing the build justice if I didn't show off just how tanky it is with Blade Ward. The point is, don't be afraid to get into the mix, even on Tactician. As mentioned during the character build, dueling is a potential fighting style for this, and without spoiling too much, I'll just mention that there are a couple of rapiers available in game which could warrant using that fighting style, especially when paired with Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, since it'll add more utility to the extra bonus action. Make sure you grab it when possible. You'll want to use solid defensive choices for equipment, and the Adamantine Shield is a very solid choice for that reeling effect, if you're using dueling. Otherwise, you'll want to dual wield, of course. As you've seen, despite this build being unconventional, it's more than viable. And even better, it's downright fun. Definitely recommend giving this a try if you've been looking for a build. There's great damage through melee, combined with reliable ranged attacks, solid defense, and survivability. Easy gameplay with minimal spell management since you basically crowd control and smite. And let's not forget how effective this character is for a large portion of dialogue, since charisma responses are so prevalent in this game. Another huge thanks to the Rob version for sharing this build with the community. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on your favorite RPGs.